So I'm interested in Glenn Greenwald. A lot of people are interested in Glenn Greenwald. He became more interesting to me in recent years. He's signed up for this new platform, Rumble.
Yeah.
I watch YouTube. I'm 50, so I'm a lot older than you guys, and maybe I'm just too square. But like, I sit down and watch YouTube, and I see you, and I see Jordan Peterson, and I see Joe Rogan. I don't see Glenn Greenwald. And then so what do I got to do? I got to go into my smart TV and reprogram it to get Rumble. I mean, it was a little bit like, what was the alternative to Twitter that was there for like 5 minutes?
Parler.
Last year, Parler. I mean,
and then they colluded to destroy it.
Yeah, I mean, so you kind of go, there's a problem because, you know, we were all sold on these platforms for their ease of use and the idea that you would get to see, I mean, that's what's so exciting about Twitter still is you still get to argue with liberals and conservatives. So now what are we going to do? We're going to have a platform for liberals and a platform for conservatives, and
it's already what it is. It's already what it is.
You build out
Twitter is the people on Twitter who are prominent are like center right. People who are like staunch conservative have been purged or banned. People who are like the far right was nuked a long time ago, except for like some specific individuals. The far left, however, can call for violence, no problem. Then you have the mainstream establishment left can literally advocate for violence, tell people to be violent, advocate for people being thrown into wood chippers like the Covington kids, no problem. And then you could tweet as a joke, learn to code, and get banned. So we see it's basically Twitter is center right to far left. And what that does is it shapes the view of these journalists who think they're centrists because they're in the middle of that. When in reality, they're leftists.
So what do you do about that?
We're building out the Fediverse right now. Are you familiar with it?
No.
It's a federated network of networks, basically. So like things like Mastodon, but basically it's the way we're doing it is,
it's a social media protocol. So you can create your own social media platform where your content exists. And I'll use Gab as an example. You know Gab?
Heard of it.
Gab is like the first, one of the first alternatives to Twitter because of the censorship. They exist on the Fediverse in that you can use any Fediverse app and follow Luke on Gab. So Luke's username might be like luke@gab.com. I don't know if Luke is on Gab or whatever. But then I could go on, you know, Super Web and then say, I'm going to follow luke@gab.com and see his posts from a different website appearing on my feed on this website. So what happens is there's no central authority to ban Luke.
Okay. But you have like almost 1 million Twitter followers.
Yeah.
You do. I have 1/10 of yours. And so why would you want to go to a platform where you and I would have the same number of Twitter followers? I mean, or the same number of followers. Wouldn't you want to maintain your status superiority on a new platform?
I don't care about the followers.
but ideally,
I think a lot of people do.
Like I certainly like
in terms of the social credit system, it already exists. It's the number of followers you have on Twitter.
Well, no. It doesn't depend because the algorithm decides who sees what now.
I tweeted a picture of a hairless rabbit once.
You did. It was weird.
I like.
Very weird.
You know, I'll put it this way: the people there's two different kinds of people who become prominent. You know, I was talking to a friend who does like day trading stuff, and I'm like, there are people who just want to be rich, who will eventually become rich because they want to be rich. But I think most people who become rich do it because there's something they're passionate about that they pursue, which leads them to being well off.
I agree.
There are people who have Twitter followers because they're genuinely interesting, smart people, or they're, you know, observant, so they can see things before other people, and they're good followers for that reason. And then there are people who try to manipulate and game the system to try and gain followers and are worried, is my tweet getting enough retweets or whatever? I don't care about any of that. I tweet random jokes, nonsense, garbled, whatever, because Twitter is just hilarious. And so...
But for a lot of people, their Twitter followers is really important social capital for their work.
I feel sorry for those people.
It's their identity for many of them.
You might, okay, but so setting aside your views of those people, that's a material reality in the sense that it's an economic reality for people. So I guess I'm raising it not to sort of say is that good or bad, but just to say I think that's an obstacle to wanting to migrate, you know, over to a different social platform.
So we're on these videos are on Odyssey, they're on Rumble, they're on
BitChute, right?
Yeah, BitChute.
Yeah.
And the thing about Fediverse,
plus
once
our website.
you start building it out, you blast out one post to the Fediverse, and it goes to your Minds account and your library account and anybody else that wants to federate. So like it could blast out to your Twitter, and like you can kind of centralize your own funnel.
If
self-centralizing
as this project expands, you'll have more access to bigger networks because you'll be hitting 50 instead of 1.